Vijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari
Vijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari
Vijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari
Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana
Yamuna Tira
Yamuna
Vanachari
Tira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Vijana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Yashodanandana
Yashodanandana Jaya Brajjana Ranjana
Hare Krishna. So chapter 9 is the center of Bhagavad Gita and discusses the knowledge of the most confidential knowledge. So obviously it is a very deep topic and I'll try my best. Whatever I could learn, I'll share, and all that attempt is just to purify myself, and please forgive if there is any mistakes I may do in the discussion. Hare Krishna. Mahatmanastu mam partha
Mahatmanastu mam partha
devim prakati asrita
Devim Prakritimashritah
bhajanti ananya manaso
Bhajanti Ananya Manaso
Gyatva bhutadim abhyayam
Gyatva Bhutadim Avyayam
Mahatmanastu mam partha
Mahatmanastu mam partha
devim prakriti ashrita
Devim Prakritimashritah
bhajanti ananya manasa
Bhajanti Ananya Manaso
Gyatva bhutadim abhyayam
Gyatva Bhutadim Avyayam
Mahatmanastu mam partha
Mahatmanastu mam partha Devim Prakritimashritah Bhajanti Ananya Manaso Gyatva Bhutadim Avyayam Mahatmanastu mam partha
Mahatmanastu mam partha
Devim Prakritimashritah
devim prakriti ashrita
Bhajanti Ananya Manaso
bhajanti ananya manaso
Gyatva Bhutadim Avyayam
Gyatva bhutadim abhyayam
Mahatmanastu mam partha
Mahatmanastu mam partha
Daivim prakritim ashritaha
Devim Prakritimashritah
Bhajanti ananya manaso
Bhajanti Ananya Manaso
Gnatva bhutadim avyayam
Gyatva Bhutadim Avyayam Mahatmanastu mam partha Devim Prakritimashritah Bhajanti Ananya Manaso Gyatva Bhutadim Avyayam Mahatmanastu mam partha Devim Prakritimashritah Bhajanti Ananya Manaso Gyatva Bhutadim Avyayam
Thank you. we'll read the synonyms. Repeat after me. Mahatmana,
Mahatmanaha,
the great souls.
the great souls.
To,
But,
but. Mam,
unto
unto me.
Partha,
O son of Pratha.
O son of Pritha,
Devim, divine.
Prakritim,
Nature.
Ashritaha,
Having taken shelter of. Bhajanti, render service. Ananya, without deviation of the mind. Gyatva, knowing. Bhuta, of creation. Adim, the origin. Abhyam, inexhaustible. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. O son of Pratha, those who are not deluded, the great souls are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Read the purport. In this verse, the description of the Mahatma is clearly given. The first sign of the Mahatma is that he is already situated in the divine nature. He is not under the control of material nature. And how is this effected? That is explained in the 7th chapter. One who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, at once becomes free from the control of material nature. That is the qualification. One can become free from the control of material nature as soon as he surrenders his soul to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the preliminary formula. Being marginal potency, as soon as the living entity is freed from the control of material nature, he is put under the guidance of spiritual nature. The guidance of the spiritual nature is called Devi Prakriti, divine nature. So, when one is promoted in that way by surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one attains to the stage of great soul, Mahatma. The Mahatma does not divert his attention to anything outside Krishna because he knows perfectly well that Krishna is the original Supreme Person, the cause of all causes. There is no doubt about it. Such a Mahatma or great soul develops through association with the other Mahatmas, pure devotees. Pure devotees are not even attracted by Krishna's other features such as the four-armed Mahavishnu. They are simply attracted by the two-armed form of Krishna. They are not attracted to other features of Krishna, nor are they concerned with any form of the demigods or of a human being. They meditate upon Krishna in Krishna consciousness. They are always engaged in the unswavering service of the Lord in Krishna consciousness. We'll read the invoking prayers. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya
Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Shwapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guruho Sri Yukta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsa Sri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Nidhata Shri Vishakhanvitam Sa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Thank you. So this verse sitting right in the center of the Bhagavad Gita's most important chapter. Actually every chapter is important and every verse is important, every letter is important. Prabhupada says if in a page of the Bhagavad Gita or any of the literatures he has given, one reads it or adopt it, it's going to change their life. So everything is important. But let's focus on this verse. This verse is focused around the word Mahatma. So we have heard this term many ways. So let's explore it how Lord Krishna is giving us the knowledge in this. Mahatma nastu mam partha devim prakriti ashrita. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls are under the protection of divine spiritual nature. So, who is Mahatma really? A Mahatma who knows who is Krishna and who is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? So next line says, Bhajanti ananya manaso. They do my devotional service without distraction. And the last, the most secret one is, Yatva bhutam abhyayam. Knowing me, the human-like body, as the cause of everything, and inexhaustible, being fully spiritual. So it's a kind of common sense. You will surrender or you will accept somebody only if you know about that person very well. Right? So Mahatmas are those who are seeking for the truth, the existence, what is the purpose of their existence, and who is the governing principle behind it. Right? So anybody, in fact, if you go by the definition, anybody who has that kind of a inquisitiveness can be qualified as Mahatma. Right? So in other words, everybody sitting in this room is Mahatma. You're sitting here inquiring about Bhagavad Gita. Right? So, but on the other side, there are so many millions of billions of people around there. How many people are sitting here and inquiring about Krishna? Very few of them, right? So it's a rare commodity really, not that easily available, right? So little pretext, before this verse, we heard from Nimai Karuna Prabhu and many other devotees, and Lord Krishna was giving the knowledge as those who are considering Lord Krishna as a like ordinary human being. They are all like mudas, right? Murkh, right? So they have no way of understanding because they demean or they understand, they think Krishna is just like an ordinary person. Especially Mayavadis, that's their foundation. Like Krishna is just, he is a supreme, he has supreme powers and he just came as a human being and he is just one of the human being. Right? So that's how Mayavadis think. Right? So they are all like, by this definition, from previous verses, text 9, 11 and 12, they are all mudas. And it goes further definition as moksha. Even the ones who are actually doing the efforts, but they are doing the efforts with some motivation behind it. Like something in return should come. Right? So some people looking for all kind of mukti, like salokya, sayojya, whatever muktis they are looking for. Even those cannot be qualified as Mahatmas. Why? Because they have motivation behind it. A Mahatma is the one who's completely surrendered. is not looking for anything in return. Right? So Nimai Prabhu very nicely explained it. So he qualified the importance of the words Mogasa, Mog Karmano, and Mog Jnani. So in any form, everybody is having some motivation behind it, all this qualification. So they don't qualify as a Mahatma. So who is Mahatma then? I just said that everybody is Mahatma here. Then this definition then disqualified many of them. So what is Mahatma then? So Mahatma or the Ananya Bhaktas, they worship Krishna constantly with devotion. So the next verse comes, 9.14, the next verse comes, and that says Satatam Kirtayanto. So they are constantly engaged in devotional services, remembering Krishna, serving his devotees fully, constantly. So they are Mahatmas. So like the way definition grows slowly, but it doesn't mean the one who has started on the path is not qualified. As long as you started on the path and you are in the right direction under the shelter of the qualified devotees, you are still qualified as Mahatma. In the purport we read, the Mahatmas, how a Mahatma is not under the control of material nature, because they surrender themselves completely to the Lord. Right? In the chapter 7:14, we hear the Devim, Devi hi aisa gunamayi mam maya duratya mam evayai papadyante maya metam tarantite. The divine energy of the mind, consisting of the three modes of the material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Right? So if you have surrendered to the Lord fully, then Lord reciprocates. How he reciprocates? He frees us from the material bonds. And then like one has to be attached to something, right? So if you are free from material nature, then you are in connection with the spiritual nature. There's only two things: spiritual or material, right? So Mahatmas, they have attempted to, like the devotees. Let's simplify the term devotees actually. So they are ready to surrender. They are ready to do their efforts in service of the Lord. So they are immediately taken out from the material bondage, from the material nature, and they stay fixed in the spiritual nature. Right? These are devotees who have no other motivation either. Right? All they want is services to the Lord. Right? They know exactly that who is the source of all this creation. Right? They understand that Krishna is the source of all creation, right? And he is the cause of all causes, right? In Bhagavatam we hear Janmadi Asya Yattaha, the text 111, the very, very first verse in the Bhagavatam is being explained there, right? Everybody is searching for something, but the one who understands that Krishna is the source of everything, he is well situated. Prabhupada says that in this human body, everybody is busy in four things, right? Actually, sleeping, eating, meeting, and defending, right? Busy in that, right? But human life is not meant for that. Human life is meant for inquiring what is the purpose of our life, how we came into existence, what is the activities we should be doing, right? So all these inquiries, it is there in everybody's heart, but only few are exercising that. And these inquiries are applicable only for the human life. Animal's dog eats, sleeps, whatever, even if it is well cared in the home, They don't care. You give them Bhagavatam class, they won't understand anything, right? So, our motivation is that we need to strive for our to learn the purpose of our existence. Right? In Vedanta Sutra, it's called Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Everybody needs to have that kind of a jigyasa. Right? This human life, or the human form of the life, is meant for inquiring about Brahman. Right? That is the greatest motivation. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a verse like who was Mahatma. So we have some couple of examples, right? So 12 Mahajans, we know 12 Mahajans. So when Ajamil was Ajamil's story in around that, near to the end of this story, when the Yamraj's servants could not catch hold of Ajamil, right? They inquire Yamraj that who is the actual controller. We could not do your service. We were supposed to be catching the this Ajamil who is so abominable, right? And we could not hold him because all the Vishnu Duttas came and they stopped us. So who is real controller of this world? And who is the real master? Seems like you are not the master, right? So that kind of inquiry happens. Then Yamraj reveals the secret, 12 Mahajans, right? Says that Swayambhu Narada Sambhu Kumara Kapilo Mano Pahlada Janko Bhishma Balir Vyasa Vayam. So 12 Mahajans. Who are 12 Mahajans? Lord Brahma, Narada, Swayambhu, the Shiva, and Kapila the son of Devahuti, and Swayambhu Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, and Janak Maharaj, Bhishma, the Bhishma Pitama, Bali, and Sukadev Goswami, and Yamraj himself. So when he explains that, and the elaboration, it takes it's a pretty long elaboration, but they are our role models of how to approach Lord. They set role model examples of how to really live this life in a more the right way, right? So starting from the Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is the first creator, right? So let's go to the next one. So the query comes that how one can go in this path of Mahatma, right? So in this verse, Lord Krishna gave all the knowledge, and our dear Srila Prabhupada elaborated nicely, and he gave this like a ladder kind of approach that every jiva is like neither here nor there, right? So this is marginal energy. We have Lord's three energies: internal energy, and material energy, and the marginal energy, right? So jivas are all marginal energy, right? So all it takes is like in order to be situated in the spiritual nature, you surrender to the Lord. The moment you surrender to the Lord, then the Lord takes care of releasing you from material nature, and the material nature once is gone, then we are situated in the spiritual nature, and then we are progressing towards being the pure devotee, right? But remember, the pure devotee never calls himself as pure devotee. So there is no end to that. Basically, you are always striving to be better and better servant. Right? That's why in ISKCON or Hare Krishna movement, we hear this term, servant of the servant, no matter what level you reach. Right? In fact, we find that the more senior the devotees are, they treat themselves as a more menial servant. Right? So that is the beautiful mood, like there is the mood we should bring in our community as well. No matter what responsibilities we have, we execute our responsibilities in the mood that we are serving the Lord. And Paramatma is sitting in everybody's heart, right? Respect everybody with a full, genuine desire to serve them. That will help to come out of the ego and continue our services in a more better way, Okay, many of the topics I already discussed. So in this, when we are working towards serving the Lord, right, there are a lot of difficulties have come, right? We hear that the devotees get many difficulties, and that kind of frightens many people, right? Sometimes they don't accept the Krishna consciousness, many people. In fact, in Bhagavatam there is a verse, 10.88.8. When Krishna loves us more, he actually takes away all our possessions. And when he takes away all our possessions, the people who actually don't love us, they all leave us. Then all we have is the real asset, the one who loves us. Who? Krishna's devotees, right? So they remain around us. So all we have is the devotee association at that time. Most favorable environment. And we grow in that. And Prabhupada is the biggest example of that. He came here with no money, literally no money, just to execute his spiritual master's instructions. He came here with nothing. And after his little endeavors, not little, lot of efforts at that mature age, his whole Krishna conscious movement is like multi-billion dollar at that time. I mean, like even now also is like, so from nothing to where he went, actually Krishna took away his, he started a business of incense stick. That incense stick factory burned. And when that happened, Prabhupada was laughing that Krishna is reciprocating. He does not want him to get in the menial business of making money, little money here and there and struggle, because Krishna had a better plan for him. He needed to go out to a wider community, and he did that. So these are lessons for us. In order to become pure devotee, in order to become better devotees, we have to put our extra efforts, serious efforts. Right? We cannot be Prabhupada, at least we can go in his footsteps, right? Read his books and follow his instructions, right? Serve devotees in a friendly manner, participate in the events where Krishna conscious discussions are happening, right? These are all activities, they will slowly add us, help us to grow in this. Yeah? There are a few other things I would like to share. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, we hear, there are a few, I'll read this first translation. A person born in a low family is not unfit for discharging devotional service to the Lord Krishna. Nor is one fit for devotional service simply because he is born in the aristocratic family of Brahman. So we hear that, like, who was really like, there are a lot of people, they born in the Brahminical family. Does it mean that they become qualified? Right? In Chaitanya Charitamrita we hear that 660 in Adi Leela that Nicha Jati Nahi Krishna Bhajane Ayogya Satakula Vipra Nahe bhajanera yogya. So it does not matter what type of birth we take, as long as we have intentions to serve Krishna, we are qualified. And even if we have a birth in a very high class family, but we don't have any motivation to serve Krishna and the devotees, then it's basically useless. And in fact, Prabhupada says in the purport that that person is actually less qualified than the person who might be eating meat but has a motivation to serve, he has accepted Krishna as a Supreme Lord and he is ready to serve Krishna. So there's a story also, we don't have time. ये भजे सई बड़ा अभक्ता हीन चारा कृष्ण भजने नहीं जाति कुलादि बिचारा. So this we discussed that no matter what type of life we take, doesn't matter. We need to be engaged in devotional services, right? In Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he explains, there is a bhajan in Bhakti Vinod Thakur's bhajan. He then says that if the conditions of bhakti is so simple and does not have any regard for the birth, then how a person should behave. Like, let's say I don't have a high birth, I am associated with ISKCON. Does it mean that when I meet a Brahman who's born in a Brahman family, does it mean that so does it mean that that person should think that other person is in the lower grade, right? One should not think like that. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is in one of this bhajan, he says that Visaya Hridaya Jade Sadhu Sangha Pai Anashya Labhe Bhakti Bhaktera Kripai. So a person whose heart is contaminated by the gross sense of the gratifications may be transformed by the association of the devotee, whose mercy can easily turn him to a life of devotional service to Lord Krishna. When the worldly man enters into the company of saintly persons, within his heart he becomes inspired by the pure devotion, through the mercy of the devotees. So the devotees' association and devotees' mercy is very important, right? When we are, it's very important for us. In order to be a good devotee, we should never underestimate or disrespect others. Whether the other person is following the Krishna consciousness or not. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that one should think everybody else as a devotee actually. If somebody hears Krishna's name once in the life, is a devotee. That is the level of understanding one should have. So now there's a difference between that. For a devotee who's aspiring devotee, that is the mood we should have. That everybody is a devotee. Otherwise we commit offenses. We don't want to commit any offenses, right? So consider everybody as a devotee, but be selective on the association. Association should be of the higher people. People where you get the Krishna conscious knowledge. People where it helps you to grow in Krishna consciousness, right? So how do we improve in the association, right? So there is a verse, Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 22.54. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Sastra Hoy, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy, right? So it is so important that even if lava is like less than a second, so even if you get the association of the devotee, a pure devotee, just for a second even, that can purify the life. Example is in Prabhupada's Leela, I heard the pastimes from So there's one of the devotee, one of the Prabhupada's disciple, right? He got initiated by letter, and all he got is just darshan matra. Like when Prabhupada was passing from the corridor, all he just saw Prabhupada. That's it. That is the only association he had. He got initiated by the letter actually, and he became a great devotee. I forgot the name. What is the name, Prabhuji? That Vrindavan Kirtan. So Ayendra Prabhu. So Ayendra Prabhu was like that. He did not get a high association of Prabhupada. He heard, and he's such a great devotee. Like he is like when he sings, even his recordings when we hear, it just melts the heart. The amount of love and the ecstasy he has in his vibrations, sound vibrations, is amazing, right? So that's how it's important. Like pure devotees association, even a second of association can change the whole life. And Ayendra Prabhu was actually, he comes from a very big aristocratic family, great musician, very well-to-do family. He left everything and he just went to the Prabhupada's movement. And there are many devotees like that actually. They just left their home in early age, like less than 20 years, like that age. Many of them, they just left everything because they got that taste that Krishna consciousness has the actual love, actual the fun they were looking like. That time was like more they were all hippies, right? Many of them are hippies, and Prabhupada made them happies, right? So they all became like so much attracted to Krishna consciousness. They left everything, whether it's big or small, doesn't matter. So we should consider ourselves as fortunate that we are living in this time, which is just hardly 50 years past, that we got this Prabhupada's devotees, Prabhupada's literature and all this. It's actually many of these knowledge is like kind of a top secret, you know. Like as the time progresses, we may not actually have access to these things in the pure form because its Kali Yuga effect is going on. Every time there's a salt and pepper added to the literatures and all kind of sages are growing up, and people who are very affluent in speaking and very charismatic people are coming up without any devotion. Their home life is all they earn money, have fun, all kind of fun, right? They're not following any of the 4 regulations even. But they are very charismatic. They speak in front of thousands and 10,000s of people. And so that time is coming. We'll be influenced by those kind of people. So better to secure our future, read the literatures of Prabhupada, right? Follow the right principles. Have that kind of discrimination in our understanding that what is right and wrong, right? We have always follow the rules like this: sadhu, shastra, and guru, right? So follow that. Look, when you have any doubts, make sure you inquire the senior devotee, pure devotee, right? Your guru or your temple president, the senior acharyas, right? Inquire with them. Read the literatures. Reading is so important, you know. Why it is important? Because you might get deviated with all these kind of people, right? And in this Kali Yuga, the Shruti is not the right way of learning, right? And in fact, you can learn that, but learn from the right source, from the parampara, people who are in the parampara, right? So learn from the right source. The person who's telling the knowledge should not have ulterior motivations of their own, earning money, taking some financial gains or all those kind of, stay away from that. So it's a very subtle balance. We are fortunate that we are here together and still receiving that knowledge, right? In chapter 10, text 9, says, Machitamat kata prana bodhiyanta paraspara katyantascha mam nitya tushyanti cha ravanti cha. Tushyanti cha ravanti cha. Right? So Lord Krishna himself is revealing the fact, who is pure devotee? The one who is discussing about the pastimes of the Lord. They have no other interest. When we sit together, if we end up in the gossips, all kind of gossips, it's a warning, it's an alert that we need to rather divert our attention to Lord's pastimes, right? It's a little practice. It doesn't take that much of effort, but that's how we grow, right? There are a couple of other things in Nectar of Devotion. We hear the qualities of the devotees. So the 64 qualities are explained, right? And first 3 qualities are that the one who is seeking for a spiritual master, shelter, the one who takes the shelter of the spiritual master, and the one who is ready to accept who takes the initiation actually. These are the top 3 qualities. When the Rupa Goswami is explaining all the 64 qualities of the devotees, these are the top 3 qualities. Why? Because that's the foundation. That's where the devotional service will start. So we should all strive for taking the shelter, looking for pure devotee, right? And it's like when you are hungry, you seek food, right? And if you're not hungry, you won't like any kind of food you have, right? So even if you get a pure devotee in front of you, right? But if you are not desiring to be in his association, you get benefit, but will take longer route, right? You are on a detour. Because you got association of pure devotee, so you will get benefited, but longer route. However, if you have desire to be in association, to serve the pure devotees, right? It's a shorter route. You now directly on the runway actually. The flight is going to take off now. So that's the thing, very important, we need to adopt. In Nectar of Devotion, there are other 5 potent forms of the devotional services which helps us to grow faster and stay fixed in that, right? How? The japa or Naam Dham, Bhakti and Puja and Seva, right? So japa, dham, serving devotees, Bhagavatam and deity services. So we should, the five potent forms basically means these are qualities which are the processes. If one follows one of them even, can advance to the higher level. So doing japa every day and having the desire to stay in dham, right, like Mathura dham, and just the desire is sufficient. It explains, Rupa Goswami and Prabhupada's purport explains, just the desire itself can manifest in the same quality as staying in dham, right? So like if I'm doing japa and I'm staying somewhere else in my own world, then it's not, japa is good, but it's not as good as it could be if we are meditating on the dham, right? And just thinking about dham means you are in dham. Physically, doesn't mean that you are physically there or not. So the quality of staying physically in dham and just desiring to be in dham has equal potency. So, and serving the devotees, having the desire to serve the devotees, and reading Bhagavatam every day, and looking for serving deities at our home. Everybody should have deities at home. Prabhupada said that everybody should have deities at home, and deities are extensions of our temple. The serving deities will help us, just like having a baby in the home, makes us to think that what is the need of this baby, right? And no matter whether you like it or not, you will end up taking care of that, right? So if the deities are at home, they'll start purifying our activities, and it brings a big transformation. And so these are our 5 services which we can adopt. Okay, so so we discussed many things in order to understand what is Mahatma, and we don't want to be like animal type of propensities of eating, sleeping, defending, and mating, which is given to all the animals very easily. Everybody has it, right? But humans are different. Humans are given the intelligence, the inquisitiveness, right? So we need to exercise our inquisitiveness for learning the spiritual path, right? The human life, I did not touch this point. Human life is one of the very rare life, right? In Bhagavatam, Canto 10, it explains very well that human life is like the boat to transcend from this material world. In order to take this boat to the right direction, one should seek for the commander of the boat, which is Guru, and the favorable winds. Favorable winds are the instructions of the Lord, right? So one should seek for that. And this boat is so rare. The life of a dog, life of all these animals, is not compared with a boat. In that Bhagavatam purports, Prabhupada explains that. So, in order to transcend this material world, the only way is the human life. Even the demigods are waiting to come down and take the life as a human in somebody devotee's family so they can advance to the next path. One may think of why is that? Because the demigods are busy in all the luxurious activities and they have no way to come out of it and do actually devotional service without any motivation. They are fully engaged with the motivation of fun and all the sense gratification, right? So that is possible only in the human life. Now one may think of it that, exceptions are there. So, but generally that is the fact. One should be desiring to serve the Lord, serve the devotees of the Lord, right? Remember, Krishna is the Supreme Godhead. It's a simple secret, but it's a secret. Well known. So Krishna is the Supreme Godhead. There's a pastime. Prabhupada was sitting in the airport. What was that? Somewhere. So the little girl, there was a minister sitting there. The little girl goes to the minister, a big high-profile person, who's Supreme Godhead. That minister has no idea what she's talking. So she started laughing. Oh, you don't know, Krishna is the Supreme Godhead. So Prabhupada became so happy that just 3-year-old kid can teach that Krishna is the Supreme Godhead. So this is so important to know that Krishna is the Supreme Godhead. It doesn't mean that, so even if we have other deities at our home, like any of the Vishnu deities, they have equal weight, equal same tattva. Vishnu tattva is same, right? So they are forms of Krishna in different moods, in different pastimes. However, if we have services for other deities, other demigods, then that's also good. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that if you're serving demigods, he will ultimately give you the benefits of whatever you are asking to demigods. But it's better if we serve Krishna directly. Rupa Goswami says in Nectar of Devotion, serving Lord directly is what he is looking for, right? He does not want like contaminated love. Serving demigods is like contaminated love. He wants a pure love, right? So we also discussed how a person is qualified as Mahatma and what they do for seeking the association of the devotees. And devotee association is very, very important for all of us to stay fixed. This Maya is very, very strong. Maya can pull us anytime, and no matter what level of progress we have done, right? So we have to always stay in the association of the devotees. Anytime if one is feeling down or down in terms of devotional services or devotional mood, that means you have missed the devotee association. You should just check yourself that who was the one helping you and get along. Simplest thing is come to the Sunday program. There are a few other things I personally find it very helpful is one should adopt chanting, especially in the morning. And our group has been conducting morning japa 6 to 8 every day. And please join. If you cannot do like 2 hours, then do like whatever you can do. Join in middle, and that will help. And everybody is progressing. We are not all Mahatmas of that life, but we are all progressing. We are in the right direction, right? So join that morning japa. Guaranteed it will help. Guaranteed. And those who don't have neck beads, Tulsi neck beads, please reach me. I will be more than happy to get you the neck beads. Please follow the neck beads is very important, and it will start helping in the purification. Follow 4 regulative principles we are all striving for, and try to do as much best as you can. And one day Lord will help. Every year we get the Gaur Purnima. If you promise Lord once, because we have no power, it's the Lord and His pure devotees who can help us. Just last Ram Navami, Suresh Prabhu, he promised the Lord that he's going to give up his habit of smoking. So that was great. It just surprised me, like such a big change, right? So, but it's not a person doing that. It's a desire is there. The Lord is going to empower. Right? That's a thing. And last thing, personally, I find it very useful is we are not vegetarians. We are prasaditarians, right? So just vegetarian is not sufficient. Monkey is also vegetarian. Pigeon is also vegetarian, right? They're not going to Golokadam, right? So we have to, whatever we are eating, just promise to yourself, promise to Lord that whatever we eat, you're going to eat only after offering. There are 2 options of offering. Those who don't have deities, at least remember Lord Vishnu, at least remember Krishna, that Lord, whatever you have given us, please accept it. At least this much is needed. And those who can properly offer, should properly offer it to Krishna and say the prayers. So prasaditarian is a very, very important thing. It's like a contaminated ball of water, right? Like there's a lot of contamination is there in that. So when we eat anything, the more contamination is added there. If we eat prasadam, there's no contamination added there. So water remains pure. Over the period of time, it becomes more pure, right? So, but if we don't have prasadam, then water becomes dirty and dirty. So with that, thank you everyone. I took 10 minutes over. Thank you everyone for giving your time and allowing me to share what I learned. And my attempt was just to purify myself. Thank you everyone. Hare Krishna.
So we can take 1 questions if anyone has, else we can have prashadam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you for the beautiful lecture and enlightening us toward getting more close to Krishna. I just have a question regarding you mentioned that when you surrender to Lord Krishna, um, He will help you getting free from material energy and getting you more close to spiritual pathway, right? But this is just a question for I think all of us who are in family life, basically, right? How do you remain spiritual? What are the steps to be taken? Remain spiritual while in being material. How do you do that?
Okay, thank you. And that's a important question, and everybody has it. I also had it when I came to ISKCON. So principle is very simple. Do whatever you do, just add Krishna in that. All the activities you do, add Krishna in that. That's where the intelligence is. How to add the Krishna in that, right? So eating, we discussed, anything you eat, offer it to Lord and eat it. Make your offerings to Lord favorable for Lord, right? He does not like the meat, egg, fish, those things he does not like. Lord can take anything, right? But he does not like it. When you love somebody, you give them what they like, right? So he does not like that. So he does not like it because he wants us to follow what the instructions he gave us, right? Patram puspam phalam toyam. Earnings, we are working with a lot of people, like material people, and I personally end up attending some of the meetings where other people are drinking or eating a lot of things. Sometimes I end up attending those meetings as well. The work requires you join that as a responsibility or your work, right? However, you don't have a desire in your heart to get that association. You don't have a longing that, oh, that meeting is coming up, let me prepare for that. So you don't have a longing in the heart. So it has not taken a space in your heart that I'm looking for that kind of a meeting. I'm not looking for drinking. I'm not looking for that kind of association of those people. In fact, if you are in a superior role, you have a bigger role to play. You might instruct those people who are coming in your association, give them the knowledge of Krishna, directly, indirectly, right? Directly, if favorable, you can tell them if they are inquiring, you can tell them a lot of things. Indirectly, at least give them the understanding of what is higher principle, right? What is right, why we should not eat the non-favorable things, meat and all that. Earning, we are earning whatever we are earning in the morning when you go to the work, just bow down to your Lord. I assume that everybody has temple. If you don't have temple, now keep a picture in your home somewhere. When you leave your home, ask your Lord that, Lord, please come with me. I'm going for this, my responsibility given in this life. Please come with me. And that should be your mood. The moment you bring that mood, whatever activities you're doing gets purified. When you get the money, put some portion of that in the service of the devotees, in the service of the Lord. Right? Likewise, you can do a lot of such things. Just little intelligence is needed how to add Krishna in our activities. And rest all will be all Krishna consciousness. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, one small question I have regarding the Tulsi beads. So, do we reach a particular stage before we wear it, or can anybody wear it? Because if I wear it and I'm not very serious, isn't it sort of more of a show off? How do we take that, Prabhuji?
there are various answers for that question. But one should have a desire to act towards Krishna consciousness, adopting Krishna consciousness, right? So let's say you have two options. I cannot wear the tulsi bead because I eat onion, right? You have option, give up onion and wear the tulsi bead. But if you don't want to give up onion, right, that means you already made a choice. You don't want to wear the tulsi bead because you're eating onion. Basically, you're saying that I'm not qualified. So Krishna is not making you not qualified. Krishna is giving you all the opportunities to become qualified. It's like whenever we go on the road, there is a left and right, right? Make a choice. Free will. That's the free will we have, right? So it's a little complex answer, but the simple answer is, as long as you accept Krishna as the Supreme Godhead, as long as you love Krishna, as long as you follow his teachings, please wear the tulsi bead. He will purify, he will give you intelligence to progress towards.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhagavad Guru.
Hare Krishna.
So now, Chetan Bhaibo, Haribo! 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 So we'll have Prasadam now. Again, as I was mentioning, for newcomers, on April 23rd, we have different sessions that if somebody is interested to know basic foundation of Bhagavad Gita and all those sessions, please contact me or Nimai Corona Prabhu. So